Greetings to my respected elders, my brothers and my sisters, and to all those who are not yet believers. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise belongs to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We send blessings and peace upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all of his followers until the day of recompense. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Friday morning, mashallah. Inshallah, hope everybody is doing great this morning. These celebrities who have embraced Islam within recent months and years, two come to mind in particular because they are so heavily spread about on YouTube, and that's Andrew Tate and BRITTANY Renner is the most recent that I've seen as far as embracing Islam. With Andrew Tate, his situation is a bit different, and I'll get into that in a minute, inshallah. With BRITTANY Renner, I don't know much about her reversion to Islam. I don't know if she has since came out and said that this was not genuine or anything like that. But what I do know is if the believer, if somebody has become a Muslim and said their shahada, taken their shahada, their testimony of faith, and they have professed La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, then it's our duty and our goal to make dua for them. That's not to say that we have to support them in everything that they do, because we're placing an awful lot of emphasis on human beings and then expecting them to not be human beings. It's my understanding that she's still producing content that is beyond haram, and Allah knows best. I haven't verified this for myself, but according to the most recent postings I have seen, that's been the case. And from my understanding, it's because she's been in contract and has to fulfill the obligations of her contract, otherwise be out considerable amounts of money. I don't know the truth to that, but money is not everything. When you embrace Islam, if the embracing is legit and true, then you let go of all that stuff. You let go of all that stuff. I mean, that's the idea anyway, right? We become Muslim, it's because we believe Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. We believe and we testify that. And when you profess to believe something and you don't put the actions into practice behind it, then you are a hypocrite. Now, I do understand there's a learning curve, and I do understand, especially with some people who may not be in the habit of making knowledge or seeking knowledge their way of life, that there's a major learning curve there. With that being said, I do make dua for BRITTANY Renner. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her guidance to the truth. Ameen, ameen. And keep her on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Ameen. But my sincere advice to her would be, get rid of the dunya. Get rid of the dunya. Forget your contracts. Forget those things. MashaAllah. You think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not bless you with something better, you're badly mistaken. You're badly mistaken. Even if you have a financial loss, it's not going to set you back so much so that you're unable to recover from that. And even if that were the case, then you better say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen and be grateful, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you Islam, if Islam is in your heart. You can't replace Jannah with dunya. I don't care how much the sacrifice is. So that would be my sincere and humble advice to her or anybody who has embraced Islam. Now, with Brother Andrew Tate, he has recently come out with a lot of ridiculous statements, and I just shake my head, because I was a very big supporter of him when he reverted to Islam. I had a lot of faith in the brother. However, I also realized the limitations of human beings, and I also realized his limitations in particular with him being confined to a specific area, to a specific lifestyle as far as who he is surrounded himself with. Now, that's not to make excuse for some of the things that he's posted that's been controversial or downright shirk related, because from what I understand, he has put out some things recently that make me say, okay, the brother has stepped outside of the fold of Islam. With that being said, though, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and judges the heart. We do not know if this brother cries his eyes out every night to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and begs for forgiveness, and maybe his habitual patterns are out of compulsion. He likes to tout himself as being somebody who is a man of self-control and a man of dignity and honor and things like that. But if you are unable to control yourself in matters of the dunya, such as this, when you profess La ilaha illallah, then you got to be willing to be a little bit honest with yourself about your shortcomings, okay? That's not to say that you are a quote-unquote bad person, because we've already discussed, I don't believe that there are any quote-unquote bad people, but I do believe we make bad choices. I do believe people make bad choices. And I do believe that people make choices out of habit. I do believe that people make choices based on their previous decisions. So, with that being the case, he is most likely fallen victim to his habitual ways. He needs to be surrounding himself with other believing Muslims. All right? I know that he is not going to cut his ties of kinship with his brother because, well, number one, you don't cut ties of kinship. However, you can surround yourself with brothers rather than disbelievers. And maybe that has a little bit to do with the area that Andrew Tate is in. Somewhat. I won't say that it can all be placed. All the blame can be placed on that. But if he has got the resources to bring in other people to spend time and resources, spend his time, effort, and resources on that are non-Muslim, then he certainly has the time and the effort and the energy to bring in Muslims to spend time with. Now, like I have said repeatedly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best the heart of the believers and the hearts of the disbelievers. So we should not place so much trust and belief in these people and hold them on a pedestal as if they're not human. They're human beings. Andrew Tate is no scholar. From my understanding, he's made no attempt to become a scholar. I'm not sure what his motivation is recently. If he has flip-flopped or what I don't know. Allah knows best. But I do know with 100% certainty, 100% undoubtedly, that he needs to get it together. If he is a Muslim, then he needs to act like a Muslim. If he's non-Muslim, he needs to come out and he needs to just say, I have given up Islam, and although I profess to be a Muslim, that is not in reality what my intentions are moving forward. Instead of trying to associate himself with Islam, I don't know if this was a thing to maybe try to help him through his hard time or what, but may Allah give him guidance back to the Siratal Mustaqim if Islam is truly in his heart. And if not, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove his burden of disbelief. I mean, that being said, remember, until next time, that there is one God and only one God, and he alone is worthy of worship.